on, guys, and welcome back to Yoast Build. So tonight, what we're going to be going over is a quick little update on the h22ek and two of the major issues I found and one thing that I broke. So, if you guys have been paying attention to the build, this is our budget winter car. This is basically my daily driver for once it starts snowing, so I don't have to destroy the Fiat or the Juke or crash it off the road. It's an EK Civic. They're pretty cheap. H22, got it for a good deal. If you guys want to know the breakdown on this build, go back and look at the how much it costs video. But let's hop right into tonight's video and get to talking about the two things that are messed up and the one thing that keeps causing me an issue on this car. It's only been 280 miles and we already have two major issues with our budget build. Issue number one, that distributor right there. We keep getting the crank position sensor, the CYP code on the Honda, and it keeps giving us a misfire, or the car will literally shut off randomly. And that is not very fun when you're driving down the road and your car just randomly shuts off. Issue number two, our eBay K-Tune shifter. For some reason, when you drive the car in the cold, it grinds fifth gear, which I know the transmission is good because if I loosen up the shifter and give it more play into fifth gear, it doesn't grind. But now it's missing second gear. So if when I go to power shift, I literally don't have second gear. If I put the car in second gear and just give it a little bit of gas, it pops out of the gear. It acts like it doesn't have enough throw. So we're going to be doing some major adjusting on that. And we're going to be replacing the crank position sensor and the distributor again, which this will be the second time since we put this car together. And then another thing I did off camera, it takes a real long time, but I didn't want to bore you guys with the content, is I did a port on the intake manifold. I cut the webbing out. I put a 68 millimeter throttle body on the car. So now this 3-inch pipe goes all the way through. It no longer has a stock throttle body. And yeah, so we have the dyno, we have the car. I need to fix the crank position sensor. Then we're going to throw it on the roller, do one pass just to see how much the ported throttle body and ported intake manifold has gained me. I'm probably not going to mess with the tune too much because I need to fix the shifter cables and make sure we do not get that CYP code again. So let's get right into it. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so for those of you that have never had a OBD1 Honda H22 distributor apart, you basically have 1, 2, 3 Phillips screws. Once you pop those screws off, you pull the cap. So inside the cap here, if you guys have any issues with your car breaking up mid-power band and you guys don't have any check engine lights, check these little terminals right here. They seem to get a lot of corrosion on them. Wow, I cannot speak today. They seem to get a lot of corrosion on them. And when you have too much corrosion on here, you'll actually get a little like misfire or something to the plugs. So you might change plug wires and plugs and everything and think you're fixing the issue. But always check inside the cap. Once you have that cap off of it, this right here is your crank position sensor. As you see, this one is old and crusty. It's one I stole out of another distributor. You need to make sure you turn the motor over so you can actually get to this bolt. There is usually a black cap in here that kind of covers everything up. I always remove them. I don't know why, it's just personal preference to me. And it makes it a lot easier to work on your stuff when it's not in the way. But yeah, another thing you can always check is your rotor button right here. Make sure this is nice clean edge. You can literally just take a sandpaper to it. See how it's nice and bronze looking? So that means there's no issue with that. So now we got to remove this Phillips screw, that Phillips screw, D-pin it out of this connector, and swap this thing out, and hopefully we can get rid of our check engine light. Alright guys, so a quick little update. I was comparing the distributor that came with this motor, which is over here on the ground, which is a non-internal coil one, to the eBay distributor that was on. I was using my filler gauges to get some clearance between the CYP and the gear. And then I noticed one thing. So this is the signal piece that was on the eBay distributor. And then this one I shoved underneath it is a OEM. Let me see if I can get this off of here now. I kind of shoved it on there. So this is the OEM gear, which just says PT3 right there on. And then this is the eBay version. And I don't know if you guys can see that in camera, but those, even if I move it all the way over here where it's supposed to be, don't line up. So the car has been reading the wrong top dead center. You can see this one has a lot of play. This one moves the whole shaft. But yeah, don't buy eBay distributors. All right, guys, so we got our 3 Phillips heads tight. Put the intake back on. Air intake temp sensor. Let's stick the battery on. Let's go give her a test fire. We'll see if our new crank position sensor fixes our check engine light. Oh, we don't have one. Oh yeah. So before, as soon as I would rev it past 3 grand, the check engine light would come on and the car would basically go in kind of a limp mode. By the way, we switched over to a different S300. I just uploaded the tune. I did that off camera, but no check engine light. Heck yeah, guys. Alright guys, so what I noticed on the shifter was it had this little lock nut right here, and when I went like this and pulled all the way back on the shifter, it actually wasn't fully engaging in gear because the lock nut was literally pushing the cable too far this way, so it actually wasn't pulling back on the transmission enough. So if I stick it in second gear now, you can feel it pop out. And if I go out here on the transmission, I had to modify it a little bit too, just to make sure it had a little extra pull. So right here is the push and pull cable, and it was hitting right on this little edge right here. So you can see right now it has a baby like hairline of clearance right there in the center. Before it had no clearance at all, so it was actually running into this little rubber bushing right here. So all I did was just take it to the grinder, and you can see it's nice and shiny right now, and just grind it on a little bit. But now you got full engagement that way, full engagement that way. Hopefully she gained something. This pull is going to be in 3rd gear. So yesterday when I had her on the dyno, she was stock throttle body, stock intake manifold, no porting at all. And that is the blue line, and the red line is the pull she just did. The check, she makes 7 wheel horsepower more, and you can see that the torque gain right here is amazing, from 129 to 144. Down here on the bottom around 4,000 RPMs where VTEC is. She's breathing a lot better, and she's still pulling up top all the way to 8,000. So ported manifold and throttle body, a definite gain on an h22a. All right guys, so now let's talk about exactly why I was trying to get this thing fixed and running right. So as you guys might have seen, when I dynoed the K24A4, it made around 165 horsepower, 155 foot-pounds of torque. And before he left, he kind of gave me a little, would you, or we should, run the h22a versus the K24 just to see the difference. And his car is cut up a little bit. K24 and 6-speed. Our H car is 100% full interior, sunroof, the whole 9 yards. Stock injector still. He has RDXs, so he has a better transmission, more feel, He pretty much has everything in his advantage except for the motor itself. And I knew the H needed a little more to make it even a good race. So that's why I've been working on it, but we still have to buy the distributor. For some reason, that thing just does not like that distributor, even with the proper crank position sensor. So maybe it's something else. I need to check the codes on the Honda, see what code it was giving me. Last time I couldn't even get it to populated code, even though it's throwing a check engine light. So we'll have to see, but that'll be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. 68mm throttle body, cutting out the webbing, and you see exactly what it... There's no lies. This is back-to-back night. First night to second night. It's actually warmer in here tonight. Yesterday it was like 28. Today it's 33 in the shop. So it's not much of a difference. But hope you guys enjoyed. Until the next one, as always, like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're enjoying the H22 content, hopefully we can get this thing over 200 wheel without having to put cams or anything in it. Alright guys, I've played with the shifter for about another 20 minutes and feels like I got it good, so bonus pull. Have a good night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.